I can fix Kate, I can fix Kate, I can fix Kate, I can fix Kate, I can fix Kate. Gen V, starring Lizzie Broadway, Jazz Sinclair, Maddie Phillips, Derek Liu, Chance Perdomo, Asa German, Clancy Brown, Shelley Kahn, and Patrick Schwarzenegger, is set in the diabolical world of The Boys. It expands the universe to Godolphin University, the prestigious superhero-only college where students train to be the next generation of heroes, preferably with lucrative endorsements. You know what happens when soups go bad, but not all superheroes start out corrupt. Beyond the typical college chaos of finding oneself and partying, these kids are facing explosive situations, literally. As the students vie for popularity and good grades, it is clear that the stakes are much higher when superpowers are involved. When the group of young soups discover that something bigger and sinister is going on at the school, they're put to the test. Will they be the heroes or the villains of their story? I'm going to first get it out of the way that I am an absolutely massive fan of The Boys. Who isn't? I think it's one of the best shows on television right now. So when the show was announced, I was a little skeptical, but when I saw the first trailer, I was very excited for the show from the beginning. And I'm happy to say that it didn't disappoint. The first 2 episodes really remind you what you're getting yourself into. And they didn't move away from what makes the Boys universe at all whatsoever. There's a lot of gore. There's a lot of fucked up shit. There's just a lot of weird shit that you'd expect in The Boys and here. And if that's what you're looking for, don't worry, you're gonna get it in this show. So let's start off with most of the positives about this show. I think that this show does something a lot better than The Boys with its characters. Absolutely love Butcher, absolutely love Huey, absolutely love Starlight, love everybody in The Boys. But I think that the way that they build the characters in this show is a lot better because the relationships between them are so great and they just feel so real and grounded. It shows you what the world would be like if superheroes were real, how they would be treated, what would actually happen. And this feels like a lot more grounded of a story, a lot more contained because it's at this one university. It just does a very good job at honing in on these relationships, on these characters, on their decisions, and they really earn every single decision that they make in the show. One that I wanted to point out specifically was Emma and Sam. I think that the actor for Sam honestly deserves minimum an Emmy nomination. Is he going to get that with an absolutely stacked year of TV? Probably not, but he was amazing in this show, and the relationship that grows between him and Emma is perfect, and I think it really encapsulates a lot of the issues that superhumans do face in the Boys universe and how they have to struggle with the powers that they have. In the middle of the show, it takes a complete turn, and I really liked it. At first, I wasn't 100% sure because it felt like they were just throwing shit against the wall and seeing what stuck, but honestly, all of it did stick because it takes a really safe and predictable story, which was completely fine for the first 4 episodes. I had absolutely no issue with them. I was still very entertained, very invested in the story, but then it just kind of says, whoop, we're going to pull a 180 on you, and it goes in a completely different direction than you were expecting, and I really appreciated it. I really enjoyed it. It kept superhero media fresh. It kept the Boys universe fresh. It made you make sure that they weren't going to get too predictable with it, and it really worked. And it develops a lot deeper themes than what I think The Boys is capable of doing, because you take all of these college kids and you show the relationship between humans and soups on a more personal level, on a more grounded level that's not such high stakes like The Boys is. And I think that this just does an absolutely phenomenal job at really making like their actual tensions between humans and soups and like setting up the possibility of a civil war. Every single character is kind of in a gray area and you understand the side in every single choice that they make, and it's just really satisfying to see people acting in a extremely logical way and understanding where literally every single character is coming from. There's not a character in the show that you're not like, I don't understand why you're like that. You completely understand every single choice that everybody makes, and it's an extremely satisfying show because it just makes sense. And then the action is absolutely phenomenal. I mentioned Sam before, but the action sequences with him where he's imagining people as Muppets, perfect. It was absolutely hilarious. And then the action sequences with Marie were great. The ending battle was good. And it's really just what you expect from this cast and crew at this point. You know what you're going to get with the boys, with the action, just nothing but gore. And it was exactly what you'd expect. And I had a great time with it. Now let's get into some of the negatives about this show, which I don't really have that many. These are just some minor nitpicks. Some of the acting is rough, mainly with Kate's character, and I don't really think that it's on the actress. I just think that some of the writing for her character really didn't flow. They made her too out there at the end, not to get too spoilery with it, but she was just a little too over the top in some scenes. And again, I think that a lot of that is in the writing and not on the actress's performance. But again, that's just a really minor nitpick. I thought that she was fine throughout most of the show. Just more towards the end, it was just kind of like, okay, I don't know how believable the writing for this really is. And then parts of the final fight feel very standard comic booky, like everything they're supposed to be making fun of the MCU and DC for. The boys have really been known for just making fun of superheroes and kind of grounding it in what it would actually be like, or at least to some degree, what superheroes would be like. And I felt like towards the end, it definitely got a little like standard cliche comic booky. It still worked because there was a massive twist and everything got turned back on its head once again, which kind of felt like a cop out the second time that they did it, which again, I don't really have that many problems with this show, just the writing in a few parts and it feeling a little bit safe at other parts just before it changes on a dime. Those are the only two major issues, is that while it does subvert your expectations, it does still go pretty safe at some points. But overall, I had an absolute blast with this show. I'd give it a solid 4.25 out of 5 stars. But let me know what you thought of Gen V down in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Follow me over on Letterboxd, link for that down in the description below, and we will see you in the next movie review.